Hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. It is day 3 of BravoCon and everybody's tired. Yesterday was soggy and wet and I had an amazing time. I'll tell you about it when I do my weekend recap. But for now, I just want to give you a couple of quick updates. So first of all, Andy Cohen just announced this morning that there is going to be a new show called The Real Housewives Road Trip, whereby there will be several, I guess it's a bus or a van that's going to go to different cities where housewives have been filmed before. And to celebrate the 20 years of Housewives, they're going to go and, I guess, visit housewives old and new. So for those of us who thought Girls Trip was not coming back, we've got a new show coming, and he said it'll be here in 2026. Other Andy breaking news, he said they have finalized the cast of Real Housewives of New York. They feel really good about it, and they intend to start filming very shortly. So there is going to be no hybrid, but we don't really know. He did not allude to what sort of mix of cast there would be, if it was going to be something new or if it was going to be some of the reboot girls with new people. So we're just going to have to wait and see. In other news, we are told Real Housewives of New Jersey will in fact come back. The question is when. Andy said he wanted to make sure that the time was right, and then he was questioned about whether or not he thought that the reconciliation that has taken place between the Gorgas and Teresa and Luis Ruelas, whether the reconciliation is genuine and whether he really believes that it's real, or if they did it to get their jobs back. And he said that it is for that reason in particular that they did not film any of the meetings when they first started to try to work things out, because he said regardless of whether or not they get their jobs back, family is and should be most important. And so he wanted them to be able to squash their beef and work out their situations outside of the realm of Bravo. And bravo, Andy. I love that. I thought that was great. Also gives us a chance to see if they're just doing this for their job or not, right? So those are two real quick tidbits. And what else do I have for you? So two judgy girls, I believe it was, just interviewed Luann de Lesseps and Sonja Morgan somewhere in, I think, inside of the Bazaar. And it's very, very interesting. But it seems that Sonja Morgan has given us a bombshell of news. She hasn't had a drink since June, apparently. Now, that's what she says. I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, good for her. Her liver is probably thanking her. No shade, Sonja, but you needed a break. And when asked about the fact that Andy's announced that the cast is set for New York and that if they are not part of the cast, they should be, they both agreed. So that means they are more than likely not part of the cast. But we kind of knew that was not going to happen. They really want to be a part of the cast. That's for doggone sure. What else can I tell you? Oh my gosh, you guys. Day 2, some of the biggest news at BravoCon was Adriana Demora going bananas at the Miami panel, essentially commandeering it for over 5 minutes to go on a rant about the Haitian mortician and on and on and on. I'm sure that there are a bunch of videos on YouTube about it. Go take a look. It was pretty hard to watch. And so that was one of the big takeaways from day 2 of BravoCon. To me, the biggest takeaway was the weather. It was an absolute nightmare. Las Vegas is just not set up for rain, and they had flash floods. So it did not matter. I was staying literally across the street, and it took 45 minutes to get across the street because the streets were essentially rivers that you could not cross on foot. By the time I left for my lunch break, they had police escorts that were escorting people across the street, and Ubers had stopped dropping people off anywhere near Caesar's Forum. It was kind of a nightmare, and it rained all day and all night. Me, not one to be detoured, I made a point to show up at the podcasters mixer that I was invited to. I met a bunch of amazing podcasters, and to be quite frank, it renewed my feeling of confidence in what I am doing, and also kind of renewed my sense of people can be good, because the weekend that I was having up until that point was making me feel like people just aren't very nice anymore. I wasn't being treated kindly by certain people, and I ran into a couple of podcasters that professed that they used to be my friend, and one of them was just acting completely and totally bizarre. And when I approached and I asked about why you did what you did and we're no longer friends, she could not get away from me fast enough. So I just want to publicly say that not all podcasters are created equal. There are some really mean girls out there, but you know what? Karma's a bitch. And if you look at their ratings and you listen to their lack of advertising, it looks like they have peaked, and so karma's on their way to get them. I'm good. I'm just going to continue to do what I do, try to bring you the content, surround myself with brilliant podcasters like Ceci from Bravo Docket, who I spoke with last night and was lovely. Like all of the bigger girls and boys that really chart out there. So in my opinion, if you're a good person and if this is meant for you, you're going to succeed. And if you are trying to get ahead by being nasty and competitive, then eventually it's going to catch up with you. So I wish all of those of you who are out here for the right reasons the best. And that's the end of my rant on the two biatches that were at BravoCon. You know who you are, and you also know that you have hate listeners following me, so thank you, because it's the biggest form of flattery. Let's move on and talk more about BravoCon, guys. There was a really cute panel with Kyle Richards, Kathy Hilton, and Kiki Monique, and it was about sisters, and they did questions and they told stories about growing up. It was really cute. They said that they are really getting along well. Kathy has really come into her own, and then Nikki Hilton, who has a booth here at BravoCon right next to Kathy's, who, by the way, it was announced during this little panel that Kathy Hilton's booth is the #1 selling booth at BravoCon. So this woman is popular beyond popular, and she's quirky as can be. I don't know if she was having a hot flash or just a moment, but aside from, throwing Kiki Monique off and kind of just commandeering the entire panel, Kyle had to keep telling her, I think she has questions. We need to stop talking, which was really cute. But at one point, she essentially stopped the panel because she was hot. And I don't know if it was a hot flash or just a moment, but it was cute. One of the fans handed her one of the Bravo Con fans that we were all handed when we walked in. And she spent the remainder of the panel fanning herself, underarms and all. So there's one thing about Kathy Hilton, and that is that she is real. So Nikki joined the panel for the game, and the game was basically like, how well do you know each other? And I think they know each other incredibly well. They both got pretty much all of the questions right, and it was a cute little situation. It helped me realize that whereas before Kathy always kind of tried to come off authoritarian, this time she admitted that Kyle's the one in charge, even though she's the oldest. And Kyle thought that was funny because she said that's not how it felt growing up. So I think Kiki Monique did a really good job of keeping this panel together, considering that she was dealing with the sometimes unhinged Kathy Hilton, who I love. And by the way, she looked stunning, just absolutely flawless in person. There was another panel that just concluded, and it was moderated by Kate Chastain, and for some reason, Ashley Darby was a part of the panel. I think mainly because she's a big Love Island fan, and it was with some of the cast from this last season of Love Island, including the very popular but misunderstood Jeremiah, and then there was Iris, and I think Ellie, and none other than Amaya Papaya. And the only reason I even bring it up is just to mention how popular Amaya has been at BravoCon. One of the cool things about this BravoCon is the, I guess, the introduction of other franchises. So, for example, The Traders has had a really big presence. They have an activation where you can go and put on the robes and take a photo. And we have, of course, the McBee Dynasty, which I didn't watch, but those guys are soaking up the sun and living their best Bravo lives because they have been very, very popular. And in fact, some of the tea is that I guess Heather from Salt Lake City has kind of put the word out, and there has been a lot of flirting with the McBee boys. So that's some really fun tea. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the panel of the day, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And you would not believe what just happened. The entire room started chanting receipts, timeline, screenshots, proof, and huge standing ovation, brought the room down. These ladies are really, really probably among the most popular Bravo Labs at BravoCon this year, and deservedly so. They're all having a hell of a season, and it's very interesting because despite all of the nastiness and the rumors that have been spoken on these ladies in person, they are all getting incredible amounts of love, which is one of the downsides of the Bravoverse, is that, you know, the keyboard warriors never hesitate to put you in your place, to say shit, but the moment they have a Bravo wristband on and are right in front of you, they're the first one standing in line for a photo op. So today's panel is proof of that, and these ladies are killing it. That's all I could say about that. Oh, yes. And one other bit of very current tea is that Brittany Bateman brought her daughter Olivia as her plus one in an attempt for them to be able to spend more time together. And Olivia announced to all of us that Jared was coming to BravoCon. And sure enough, this morning and last night, images of Jared at BravoCon surfaced on Instagram and elsewhere. So there you have it, folks. Now, Brittany swears up one side and down the other that they're just friends, and as such has alluded to the fact that there is someone besides Captain Jason that was a part of the crossover event, and she's ruled out Mike, saying that Heather has put dibs on him, that she's got an interest in, and that she plans to pursue BravoCon weekend. So, girlfriend, I hope you got it in last night, because unless you're staying, this is it. Oh my goodness, you guys. All the Bravo Labs are out in the wild today at the bazaar, and I just saw Vicki Gunvalson in the most adorable white outfit, still walking around carrying her orange, and apparently she won't let anybody touch it, and she has been sleeping with it, not just the first night, but last night also. Listen, I have been on both sides of the fence when it comes to Vicki Gunvalson over the years, but I don't see how we could do a season 20 without her. I mean, she's the OG of the OC. Everybody knows it. But what I noticed about her interview just now was how light on her feet she seems to be. She's just so happy. And she articulated the fact that since she's from Chicago, she really doesn't have any family here. So her Bravo family has become her family. And being invited to come back feels like being coming back home. And one other tidbit she shared with us was that she was originally, she thought she was giving away the Lifetime Achievement Award to Kandi Burruss, and she had a script and she was told to practice it and all of that. And then during the Bravos, somebody else came out and gave Kandi the award. So she was a little perplexed. And then they came up and asked her to just basically close out the show. So she had no idea what she was going to say, but she thought she would just say, well, thank you everybody for coming and blah, blah, blah. And that's when Andy surprised her with the orange. So it was done really sweet. She said she blacked out in the moment, didn't really remember much about what happened, but she's thrilled to be back. And at the end of the day, I'm thrilled that she's back as well. Then we see Jesse and West from Summer House, and they were interviewed and essentially just talked a lot about how excited they were to be at BravoCon. If I'm being honest, there was nothing of real note. Neither of them are in a serious relationship. I guess if I had to say what it was that they said that would be shocking and, interesting, not really much, to be honest with you. I mean, the questions that they were asked by the fans were with regards to whether or not, I guess Jesse's got a new album, and nothing of note, but the excitement of the ladies and the group of girls that gathered around these two was crazy. And the other news, I've been hearing it off and on throughout the weekend, and Jesse just kind of put the final confirmation in place for me, is that the, I guess, select group of Bravo Lebs who sing are putting together a holiday show that they're doing. I think it's tonight. And I've heard that Brittany Bateman is going to be a part of it. Now we know that Jesse Solomon's going to be a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our final word or phrase of the day for BravoCon 2025. And in case you were not able to snag some of our merch, here's your opportunity. I am going to give out today's phrase or word of the day. And if you are able to give me all three word or phrases from the weekend, all you need to do is send a DM to @LivingOnTheVerge podcast and give me the three words or phrases from BravoCon weekend, and I will send you a swag bag, which includes a really cool drawstring backpack, a BravoCon Living on the Verge t-shirt, and a hat. So I will be doing that for the first 5 people who DM me with the correct word or phrases from the podcast that I have been broadcasting all weekend. Now, are you ready? Today's phrase of the day is name 'em. One more time, name 'em. So there you go, guys. I hope you have enjoyed listening to my BravoCon coverage. Of course, I'm going to come back with a whole wrap-up, recap, fill in all of the blanks, tell you about all of the things that I took notes on, and of course, go over like my happy moments and my not so happy moments from BravoCon 2025. I'll tell you what I did outside of BravoCon, and I'll tell you whether or not I plan on going back to BravoCon ever again. So I'll leave you with this, according to a conversation that Andy had at Ask Andy with the infamous Ruth, who is an 86-year-old Bravo fan who has been going to BravoCon since the beginning. She asked Andy point blank, I just need to know if we're doing BravoCon again in 2 years. And if so, what are the dates? Because I'll be 88 years old and I just want to make sure that I mark them down on my calendar. And Andy said that he hopes to be doing BravoCon when she's 90 years old. And that will be the same year that they will be celebrating 20 years of Watch What Happens Live. So it would be amazing if that happens. But for those of you, including myself, who were speculating that this might be the final BravoCon, Andy says I'm wrong, and so are you. He says there will be more BravoCons in the future. So there you have it, you guys. I've had a really good time covering BravoCon Live for you guys from Las Vegas. And I will be back real soon to give you a bigger, brighter recap. And of course, we will talk about all of the happenings, including what I have going on next week, which I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about. Until then, please stay safe out in the rain if you're in SoCal or all the areas around us. We don't do so well in the rain, you guys. So please stay safe out there on the roads. For those of you traveling back home, whether it be on an airplane or on four wheels or on any other mode of transportation, safe travels home. We hope to catch you on the other side. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday. Until next time, I'll be here living on the verge.